Even though today you can hop on a flight in the morning and pretty much find yourself anywhere in the country by the afternoon, or you can use our incredibly efficient interstate system that spans coast to coast, there's something to be said for slowing down, getting off of the highway, and taking the back roads. A road trip is something that fly fishers should certainly appreciate because you're getting off the beaten path and seeing things and finding things you wouldn't normally see if you were going by at 75 miles an hour. Today's book celebrates the road trip, but it also highlights something that I'm confident that viewers of this YouTube channel will appreciate. We'll talk about that today on Casting Across. Hi, I'm Matthew of castingacross.com, where I explore the quarry and culture of fly fishing. This week's book is Storied Waters by David Van Wee, with a long subtitle I didn't memorize. 35 fabled fly fishing destinations and the writers and artists who made them famous. So right off the bat, this is not a typical guidebook. It's not going to give you all the nuts and bolts of the best places to go fly fishing in the country or even of a particular region. It is celebrating and highlighting waters that have been host to or home to those who have contributed to the rich history of art and literature within fly fishing. It's such an important part of our sport. As soon as people stop saying, you know what, I know I can catch more fish by throwing a worm in, but I want to do it with a little bit more flair and nuance. They've been writing about it, writing poems about it, painting tapestries about it. And this is what this book picks up on for the last 100 or so years here in the United States. So what Van Wee does is he starts at his home in Vermont and he meanders his way up to Michigan and then back and ends up in Maine before returning home. And he stops at some of the most famous places up in the Maine woods, in the Catskills, in the Adirondacks, in the Poconos, in Pennsylvania, and then up in Wisconsin and Michigan. And he fishes all of them. So he gives you trip reports. And in doing so, he does give you information on where you can go, what you can use, the seasonality of those fisheries. But along with that, he also talks to people and gives his account of the historical value of these areas, specifically the books that have come out of it. Why Hemingway fished there, why Volker fished there, and why they wrote about what they wrote about. And of course, all the way from Michigan back to Maine, he lists examples of this. One of the great things about this book for me was, as I was reading it, I found myself getting online, going to online bookstores, and ordering books I had never heard of before, but these works were important for an area or for a time. And we don't want these things getting lost to history. Inevitably, somebody will appreciate that, but just because it is older doesn't mean it's not valuable. And so that's a really, really helpful part of this. But what this also does is it really encourages you to explore. Seeing a river as more than just an opportunity to catch fish, because there are those who came before you who did that, and they communicated something important about that. So there's a very good chance that where you fish, there is something historical that if you read it, whether it be details and logistics or whether it be prose, will add a certain amount of richness to your experience. And that's one of the things that you take away from Van Wee's Storied Waters. I love the way he writes. He writes about his successes. He writes about his failures. He writes about what he eats and drinks along the way. So it's a great, relatively quick read. It's the kind of book that I would suggest that you do read cover to cover, but if you are planning on going somewhere, you could certainly flip to that chapter and read about it to get a little bit of information before you go. So Storied Waters by David Van Wee. I will put information on where you can get it in the show notes below. But is there a road trip that you would like to take? Is there a destination that you want to get to and then maybe a couple of the intermediary stops on the way? Let me know in the comments below. Then head over to castingacross.com where you'll find 3 posts a week on the people, places, and things that go into the pursuit of fish.